probably to show off my acid green sweater. It's kind of in the same family as the grass, but so much more vivid. So, yeah, just checking in. Not doing very much. Really out enjoying nature and this gorgeous park. I will try to show you like a kind of a scan of it without sort of anybody's privacy, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's about 70 degrees here, and I don't know how long I can do this. One, my phone battery, because I obviously I don't have like a battery pack, and yeah, I'm running on my cellular power, so this might end up costing me a lot. I wanted to just say though to the YouTube family, do check out my May update video. It was really pretty deep. I got a lot of downloads and information for you on this upcoming month. It is a members, so it's for the channel members. And again, just I really encourage you to think about becoming a member of the channel of Yoga Bliss Dance. I'd really appreciate it, and you get a lot of wonderful perks. Maybe I should go over them. I think at the lowest level, the bronze level, you get the forecast. It'll always be some sort of tarot, oracle, or intuitive channeling. I mean, I may do something shamanic at some point. Okay. Hi, Gigi. And that's at the bronze level. At the middle level, and you get everything of the previous level. At the middle level, if you become a channel member, which you'd click the join button below, my goal is 30 people, I want to say, for the month of May. You'll be following a little bit my journeys, as well as, of course, I'm going to keep doing the wellness and the woo-woo, which is what I talk about. I think one pigeon wants to like get romantic with the other. It's odd. By the way, the behaviors they were doing. It like keeps trying to land on the other one, like on top of the other one. The other one just flew away. So the middle level of channel membership, you get, oh gosh, what do I add in at that level? Each level builds on the other, like I said. You get, actually Gigi may know, because Gigi's a member. I'm trying to think of what I add at the middle level. That's there's bronze, there's the silver level. And I know the gold level, you get discounts from my Etsy shop, and I have a lot of like goddess imagery. I have some African orishas. I have some like positive affirmation, some like chakra glowing stuff that was doing well on Etsy, and you get 50% off. So actually, Gigi, check that out. I did put the link. You should be able to see it so that you can get anything you want from the shop. And it's quite inexpensive because they're printables. I do have some posters of like Oshun and so on, and those that can get shipped to you, you can get 10% off, because those they're very reasonable, but obviously I pay for shipping and I pay for the production of the poster. So in either case, if you become a, let's see, bronze, silver, gold member, you get 50% off on any printables, and you get 10% off on posters that are printed and shipped to you. And they range, I would say the printed posters range from like 16 to probably the largest size, maybe 30. Yeah, that's it. And so, yeah, the silver level, I can't remember. It's weird. I like blank out about the middle level. And I think I'm actually going to add polls in at the silver level, so you can, I'll poll you about, or you can suggest a video you'd like me to make. That will be, I think, at the silver and gold level. But, at the silver and gold level, you get the live, which is really fantastic. You guys know I do a live on, I hope you can hear me okay, because I usually don't use this. Usually, I do a public live on Sundays, and I'm going to keep doing that. but a live, smaller with just the members is very, very different. I'm going to start doing it on Zoom. The very first one I did on, I just did it via YouTube, and I didn't have the capacity to see, like, I could see comments, but you couldn't come on camera, and talk to me directly. I couldn't see the faces or the names unless you commented. So I think I'm going to use Zoom and do the member lives that way. Okay, so hopefully, oh yeah. Hey, Karina's mood, hi. So yeah, I won't be pulling cards because I have no cards with me. And yeah, wow. I think the iPhone is making my sweater even more intense than it is. It's definitely a limey green. It's beautiful weather here in the UK. I will, in a little under a week, I'll be going to Italy. Gonna go back to Sardinia, God, Goddess willing, and definitely will take you guys with me. Now, I just want to let you know though, again, just because I'm not a travel channel, I'm not into taking just specifically spending all the time going to the monuments, talking about the monuments and talking about and trying different restaurants. I've really been what a lot of the sort of expat, especially black sit folks talk about. I've been resting a lot, you guys. I've been like, wow, why don't I go do this? Or why don't I go see, like I wanted to go to the town I'm in, there are 2 world-class museums, and I've just not been as interested. And I think it's just energy, and I'm realizing it's like, Viv, sort of stepping out of the US at this time, you can be very tired. You can feel kind of worn out. And so I'm doing a lot of resting. And like I said, a lot of the folks who have, done their black sit to Portugal or wherever, or Ghana, or wherever they've gone, or France, a lot of the women, it's mostly, and I also watch a couple. There's a couple that I watch that's in Portugal, but they all say they really spent a lot of time resting was their first thing they really did. They just needed to rest. They all say they slept a lot, and I'm really starting to see that, and I didn't really think that was going to happen. A lot of my traveling is just trying to get my stress level down and get my healing. So, yeah. All right, let me see your comments. Oh, that's so nice, Karina's mood. How are you doing? Karina says, I love seeing my people rest. I know, and who's the woman who does all the rest? There's 2, but there's, the Nap Ministry. You guys, she is amazing. She has a PhD. She's serious. I say that to say she's serious about rest. She weaves it in with so many isms and so many just deep, profound things, because when you hear Nap Ministry, like I said, I was skeptical. I'm like, what does that even mean? Nap Ministry. But she has 2 books. I would love to get her on my channel. I wonder if she would come. I should reach out to her. I think she has one. Is Rest is Resistance by her, guys, or no? No, I don't think she wrote Rest is Resistance. She has 2 books. She has her first book, which I think did really well. I think she's traveling around the world presenting everywhere because she is resonating with people not just in the Black community, which is her primary audience, but I saw she was I want to say Norway. People were like, yeah, we need, it's, like I said, so many of the isms, the capitalism in extremis, I'll call it capitalism in extreme, it wears people out. It forces you to be a machine, right? And you guys, those of you who really follow me know I've talked about the one time I worked in a factory. I did it for several months. And I will tell you, this is what I always say, I just gained so much respect for people who could do that for a lifetime or for years, because I lost weight working in the factory. Honest to God, my waist just whittled in. I got this tiny little waist, and I was like, what the hell's happening? And I always say, I literally was doing this all day, right? I know I'm making you guys dizzy. So I would pick up the package and it'd be on the conveyor belt and then you'd twist to your station and like pack it. I was like packing stuff and then you'd twist. So literally all day I was doing like slimmer size. And probably the owner of the factory would be like, yeah, you should be thanking us because we're giving you exercise and we're paying you. I literally want to say in like 2 weeks, my waist was slim. I also came out of there though smelling like candles. I was working at Yankee Candles. I'll never forget it because I walked into this store, a little like 7-Eleven one time. You know, it was just like, oh my God, I gotta get a snack because you walk out of there and you're so like, ugh. So I had to get like a Kit Kat or something. And somebody turns to me, and I smiled, they smiled, and they go, oh, do you work at the candle factory? And I was like, yeah, how do you know? And they literally were like, well, you smell like cinnamon buns or something. Like literally, like they gave something, it was funny. And I was like, oh, like I literally, it's the sense of the candles were so perfumed that after 8 hours, it had permeated your clothes, your skin, everything. It was crazy. So again, just respect to people who are able to do factory jobs because I was like, most of the people I befriended, I want to say, I think we were hired as temps, you guys. We lasted maybe a month. People started quitting. They just started dropping like flies. I think I was one of the last people of the batch that was hired. I think there was one other person maybe who stayed after I quit or something like that. All of that to say, I have worked hard in my life and, you know, a lot of these systems don't necessarily allow us to amass. You're working hard, but it doesn't necessarily allow you to amass the money that you feel like promised. And you guys are probably wondering, well, Viv, when did you do that, right? Because if I was working as a professor, you're like, well, when were you in a factory? This was literally, I want to say it must have been after I left teaching, after the toxic work environment in academia. I was so burnt out, you guys, that this was the job I got. And again, through a temp agency. And the thing with that, if you don't know, is temp agencies pay the lowest. Meaning if I had gotten the job directly through the employer, in this case, Yankee Candle, they would have probably paid me about $2 or $3 more. But through the temp agency, it's less. But anyway, it was just a way to get a quick job because I was so burnt out at that time. You know, and like I said, I just appreciated the work that people do, but it also makes me realize as humans, we're not machines. We can't work at the pace of machines. And the last piece of that story that I always tell is occasionally the machine would stop, would break down. It would just stop, it would glitch. And we'd all stop and you could just feel it. Everything would go quiet, you guys, in the factory, right? Because with the belt running, it would be noisy. Fairly noisy, obviously within levels, right? Because we do have those guidelines in the US. And we would just stop and people would just stand by their station because you wouldn't leave because it's going to start again in like a minute or two. Anyway, just dehumanizing. And you could see the belt with, I'm missing part of the word, not just the belt, but the conveyor belt with all the boxes of the candles and all of that. And you could just see it was vast. It was almost as big as, well, not as big as this lawn. That would be a lie if I said it was as big as this lawn, but it was pretty big, maybe half the distance to where the very last trees are. And we would just kind of just stare out. We would just stare out at like, oh, it's going to start again in a minute. I know they're going to fix it. And then it would start, you'd hear it, and we'd just go right back to work, just like cog in the machine. No, Karina, I don't know what my human design is. Do you do human design? You're a protector, a projector, and you give similar vibes. Huh. I have dabbled in it, but not as much as I was into Enneagrams for a while. I look at a lot of different systems, but I think I just got tired. Do you like it, Karina? Do you like human design? I know it's pretty big right now. I think it was Enneagrams. In Enneagrams, I was like a 3 with a side of something. And I think, is it Enneagrams? And then the other thing, that personality, is it Myers-Briggs? I love this story. My friend, because there's like 16 different types of those, she literally knew which one I was out of 16 different types. And I was like, no, I'm sure you're wrong. She's like, take the test, take the test. I took the test. It was exactly what she said. It, like ENTJ, ENFP. No, that's something else. I can't remember what I was because I'm dyslexic. And it was abbreviations, right? It's like 4 abbreviations, but she nailed it. And I just thought that was so interesting. So I find that system, Karina, the system of, I guess, the Myers-Briggs, very good at typing. I don't know that it helped me kind of understand myself. I guess it did a little bit. Anyway, we have all these crows, and somebody's feeding them. So there are all these crows by me. Like, we hope we don't get a scene from like the birds. Like if you see Viv getting attacked by birds, I don't know. Anyway, I did not really come on here to talk about the factory job, but again, just to talk about the systems that we're living under. I really want to talk more about manifestation, and that's kind of right now. That's really my jam. Quick thing also in terms of I am available for coaching. And one of the main aspects is using the holistic systems that I'm trained in. And again, look at how I'm dressed. Look at all the green is so intense, you guys. I'm going to turn it for a second. Green is the color of spring, meaning it actually stimulates the liver. So for many of you, if you have green clothing or put out some green, it actually helps to move that energy. And it's a bright green, not a deep dark green, but like a bright light green, kind of like what I'm wearing, like a bud green. The energy is liver gallbladder, and it is helped by movement. So really in the spring, it's important to start, whether it's jogging, whether it's just brisk walking, whether it's swimming, any type of rhythmic movement. It could be dance, is very, very good for the liver energy, okay? Because I know a lot of you do detoxes. Let's see, is Gigi here? She's big into detoxes, and thanks for being a channel member, Gigi. You can see who's a member by they get a little, not an emoji, but they get a little badge. So yes, do your detox, but there's other things you can do. And many of you, if you have different illnesses, I'm not even going to name them here, but a lot of it is mediated by the liver. The liver is really, really, really important. Really, really important. A lot of us that have hormonal issues, the liver has a lot to do with that, whether it pulls out the toxins so that it doesn't, a lot of the toxins in our environment, you guys, mimic our hormones or throw off our hormone production. So working with the liver, which I can help you with, kind of relieving the stress on the liver. I can give you food tips, but more I would give you acupressure, self-massage tips to move that liver energy. And like I said, one thing you absolutely can do is just exercise. Start regular exercise is really key. And you could do a mild detox. If you're not healthy enough to do a detox, an over-the-counter detox, because it's not necessarily for everybody, what you could do instead is just increase your green vegetables, like literally. And they don't have to be raw. They can be cooked. So things like broccoli, broccolini, kale, dandelion greens. Right now, look at this. So nature often literally puts in our environment. This is really deep. Nature will put the herbs in our environment that we need at that time. So a lot of you could literally go and pick some dandelions if you don't fumigate your yard. Hey, if you're just joining, dandelion greens, huge right now. And you don't have to have a big budget to do that. Like I said, you could literally go pick them in a place where you know there's not being sprayed, right? You can make dandelion wine. I don't think that'd be the best for your liver, but you could dry the dandelion if you could have a dehydrator, or you could just cook it, or have a little bit in a salad, because of course dandelion is very bitter, and that bitter taste helps to move the energy of the liver. So just giving you some general tips here on balance at this season, and it's very important. It's best to do the balancing during the season. So again, this is liver gallbladder season, is the springtime. Now is the time to balance that energy, right? Versus trying to do it in the winter. Okay, hope that was helpful. Any quick questions? Karina's mood. I just enjoy reading about them. Human design and numerology. Yeah, I mean, if two more people mention it to me, I'll check it out because I always say there's a spiritual thing. If something gets mentioned to you 3 times and seems random, or it's sort of advice, or you see it and it catches your attention, if it happens 3 times, then I always say that spirit is trying to tell you something. So yeah, Karina, I'll watch out. I'll see if it comes up again. If not, then because I have so much on my plate. But yeah, the different systems are fun ways. Absolutely, I love, like I said, especially when I was younger. I mean, for me, it's the chakra system, and for me, and also Karina, it's the chakra system, and also the 5 elements, which I should talk about more. I was just talking about the wood element. So that's my typology system. And when I studied massage therapy, and again with the coaching that I do now, I have a quiz, which by the way, you can take. And if you want to meet with me, there's a small charge to just, we can go over the results of the quiz. So Karina, you may want to check that out. But what I was talking about was the liver energy, which is called wood. It's wood energy because, again, just like the trees, you're seeing that beautiful, the leaves bursting out, right? The flowers blooming. Our energy wants to do that, you guys. So again, those of you who may have various illnesses, if you're dealing with obesity, weighing more than you want to, a lot of times it's really that our system is literally clogged up, which is often it's not your fault at all because the food is such crap and it's addictive. So our food in the United States especially is often so poor quality, and it's addictive at the very same time. So again, the tips I just gave about moving that liver energy would help you if you're dealing with, rather than trying to take a pill, Spirit was telling me to talk about this, like taking a pharmaceutical, there are things you can do to help your body purge out what really is excess, okay? And if you're not overweight, you don't have to be. You can be skinny and definitely be unhealthy as well, right? It depends. It'll manifest differently in your body. So the tips were for everyone. Like I said, if you can't do a full-out detox, start adding much more greens to your diet. Like maybe make one meal, and don't worry about protein. Most Americans get way too much protein. We get way more protein than we need. Again, you got to think our ancestors were busy. Everybody's ancestors, they did labor. We do not physically labor. The vast majority of us no longer physically labor like our ancestors did. So eating the way they did, we're not fueling anything. And this is something that's really been coming to me a lot because I feel like for some people we use it as an excuse. Oh, I need so much protein and I just need this many calories. And it's like, unless you're doing physical labor, farm labor, factory work labor, just your UPS delivery guy, we often are getting more calories, but also even more protein than we need, okay? And it's actually harmful for the body. So, yeah, yep. So who's here? Who just joined? Bee's here. Yeah, and Gigi's here, and Karina is here that have said hello. All right, guys, thank you so much for the thumbs up. Again, please consider becoming a channel member. You have been benefiting from the channel for a while, unless you're new. And I'm losing my light. I don't look as nice in the, I need like the sunset light. It's so beautiful. I think most people look really beautiful in the sunset light. I think I'm gonna walk a little bit and I may take you guys with me because the point was to get some exercise. It wasn't just to sit on my tush, right? So I'll take you guys with me. So I am in a park that is rated one of the best in the UK, I think in the top 10, if not a little bit higher. Not quite saying yet where I am, but like I said, I will be, I hope you guys don't cut out. If I suddenly cut out, it's because the internet went off. Let me see, which way should I walk? I'm gonna walk this way. I want to walk towards the light. Okay, let's hope I didn't. All I left was orange peel. It's nice to take you guys with me. All right, I got to watch where I'm walking. Because remember, within 5 days of coming to the UK, I twisted my ankle. And it's my right ankle. It is still tender. So as I was saying to a girlfriend of mine who lives in Portugal, she's American, but she lives in Portugal, we were discussing how as you get older, you really have to take better care of your body. Like, I mean, I guess that's obvious, but until you all experience it, you won't really believe me. Like you really, things are slower to heal. Like, what is it now? It's over 2 months that I hurt my ankle. And it's just been like crazy. Some folks were running like in a team and I didn't want to get run over. It's been really intense. It's been really intense. I'm not going to lie. That right ankle. So I'm doing exercises. I went to the doctor twice, which was quite inexpensive. I was able to pay out of pocket. And I went to an osteopath. Is that an osteopath? The one who gives you exercises. So that was great. She was really good. And it was covered by my travel insurance. So that was really, really good. I'm trying to decide this park, as I was saying before, is so beautiful. I'll make a full video about it. I will kind of do updates of where I've been once I've left. But really beautiful park, has a fountain. I would compare it to a miniature Central Park. And apparently when it was built, it was based on the kind of grand Parisian parks of the 1800s. So yeah, just beautiful landscapes where you can kind of sit. I'll show you. Trying not to catch anybody in as I'm filming. Because I don't know what the privacy laws are, you guys, but I heard about some YouTuber, but he did some ridiculous stuff. He went to like some country and did really obnoxious things and got arrested. I mean, like he went in and like overturned people's stuff in the store, just crazy stuff. I didn't really hear the full story myself. Obviously, I don't do anything like that because I'm not crazy. Let's go this way. Maybe that's a bad idea because now the sun is behind me and I really want the sun. I want to walk towards the sun. All right, I'm going to walk towards the sun this way. And I think this is actually my way out. I'll show you also a beautiful fountain. I think it is, I don't know if it's Cupid. I don't know, but it's pretty. I'll show you guys. I don't know if that showed well. Looks like a Cupid. You know, a sort of semi-naked, young, I think male, with a bow. So yeah, I think it's Cupid and wings. Who knows? Everybody's on their phone, but not everybody's like talking to their phone, so I feel a little bit weird. But most people, of course, wouldn't actually think that I'm live on YouTube, so the park is really filling up because now I think it's after work time. What's also really nice about this park is it has like, I want to say like 4 or 5 just open fields. Like you guys know the Great Lawn in Central Park in New York City. I don't know if any of you know it, but in fact, I think actually something I heard via an artist, but also then researched is a lot of Central Park was built on what was a black community. At the time, they were displaced. Anyway, yeah, they were displaced off of some parts of the land. I don't know if all of it, but some parts of it, because Central Park is huge. I'm talking about the park in New York City, Central Park. So this park is great because it does have like 5 lawns where you can just, like where I was, but in different parts of the park where you can just get sun. And, you know, if you wanted to play a game or whatever. I'm passing tennis courts. I don't really play tennis. And I'm freezing, you guys. So I'm wearing the sweater, has like little holes in it. And I'm just wearing like a tank under it because I really thought it was warmer. You know, one of those days when the temperature is like, oh, it's 62, which sounds warm. But there's either a wind or I don't know, for whatever reason, it's not as warm as the temperature sounds. I know. It sounds like I'm whining, but that's one of the things I really hate. I hate to be cold. And I've noticed this, and folks will argue this point with me, but I've heard other people say it too. Because I eat mostly vegetarian, like, I think I had meat maybe 3 weeks ago. I had a small amount in something. So I'm eating vegetarian. I sometimes have sardine avocado sandwiches, which are delicious. I know that sounds weird, sardine avocado, but Google it. It's actually very famous. It's delicious. So that's pretty much the extent of my meat eating, and that, you know. So I think in the month I've had meat, I've had fish, which of course is an animal product. I've had fish like, actually probably 4 times and because it's an inexpensive way to eat. I love it, the avocado sardine, and it's very healthy. And then, so my point is, with telling you all of that, that you didn't need to know, is that I find when I'm vegetarian, I tend to run colder. I don't feel as hot. If I eat beef or if I ate pork, I will tend to feel just hotter. Does that, any of you resonate with that? And I've even, there's a woman, you're like, why are you going into the woods? I know, I'm taking like the wooded paths that, you know, it's that tourist foolishness. It's like, oh, I can go this way. Actually, yeah, let me cut this way because I definitely see a lot of trash where I am here. That's the one thing I would say about the UK, you guys, that even with these beautiful parks and even in a very nice neighborhood, there's a lot of trash on the streets. A lot. It's just a lot of rubbish. And I've seen other YouTubers who were really like trash talking the UK saying that. I'm not trash talking the UK, but it is something very marked. It's like, I don't know if they're cutting back on their services, and we won't talk about their Brexit, but either they don't have the money or the people to do the cleaning. So again, even in a very nice areas, there's a lot of dirt on the street. There's a lot of trash. Anyway, who's here? 5 of you were here, but you're not saying anything, so I'm just rambling because I'm talking. I'm going to ramble this way because it's actually really nice. In fact, the only reason I'm going in is I have to use the bathroom. And actually, I walked by. There is a bathroom. What I like about a lot of the UK parks, which maybe, I don't know, I just feel like not all, but a lot of them will actually have a little cafe. Even in a small town, because I've been in several small towns, there'll be parks, but they'll have a cafe where you can get pastries, you can get tea. I mean, and like I'm saying, in a relatively small park or in a small town, that you wouldn't think they would staff that. So that's interesting. Yeah. So it's still a gorgeous day. I'm going to turn around so you can just see. You can't quite see how big the park is from this view. But anyway, I don't know if you can. And then yesterday I accidentally discovered another park. And that matters because I literally was like, okay, I'm bored with this one park because I literally have traversed this entire park, like all corners of it. And it's quite, like I said, it's quite huge. Then I went out for a walk and accidentally found another huge, beautiful park. Kids playing at night. And I think the safety factor, I do have to say, whoops, it's itchy. The safety factor is higher, I have to say, in the UK. I do feel like the crime is less. It just feels like that by how, guys, yeah, I'm sorry, I have like a bug in my hair. It just feels like more people are out in the parks, and I think it's just because the weather is so bad usually that the minute it's nice, they're out. Anyway, so I'm just rambling. A lot of lovers laying around. The other park I discovered the other day, it's like, yeah, springtime. I see a lot of couples just out on the lawn. So guys, I'm gonna go back into the streets and I may stop at the supermarket. So I think I'm gonna cut off here. Oh, Karina says, yeah, I'm just listening to you as I make some lunch. I know. That's what I figured. People are just like, oh, it's like old time radio. I wish I had a guest. If I had a guest, it would actually be really cool. But yeah, folks were leaving the park. It looks like there was something with Red Bull. Some folks have this Red Bull like dispenser or backpacks on them. I don't know if they were giving out free Red Bull and I missed it. Actually, I guess I don't drink Red Bull. What is Red Bull, you guys? Isn't it? Is it just caffeinated drink? I think it is. Yeah, that would not be something good for me. And Gigi says, hey Viv, I was listening while I picked up my son from school. Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm providing a distraction while you guys do stuff. But yeah, you can see it really is gorgeous out. And like I said, I do feel that the safety, the crime rate, it just feels like it's lower in the UK. I can tell by how people act, if they have kids out, the way a lot of people talk about Portugal being like their kids out at midnight. It maybe not at midnight. I think it gets quieter here, but you definitely will see just families and all different ages out. Maybe a little later. It's just a vibe. I'm from New York City. I get a vibe about crime, and I'm probably hyper alert about it, to be really honest with you. The other park that I went to, as I'm standing here, was a little sketchier. I'm not going to name the name. It was nice. There were still people out, and it was sunset. And again, being an ex-New Yorker, I'm like, okay, the sun's going down. Parks are not necessarily the place to be, right? I saw somebody who I had a feeling was up to something. It was just, it's probably like the local whatever. And I caught their attention. They looked at me and I'm like, okay, yeah, we don't need to say hi. But I'm the type of person, and I've said this to you guys before, I've been in stores where literally I'll see security and I'll see a shoplifter and I'll see the shoplifter and security doesn't see the shoplifter. Are you with me? Like, that's the type of person I am. I'll just notice what's a little bit unusual. That's happened to me multiple times in New York City. I'm like, whoa, they're packing their bag there. And it's not even that the security's ignoring them or the security's on a phone. The security doesn't even notice them, and I'll notice. So I have that thing from, growing up riding New York City subway and having to watch out for like crazy people. So it is a hypervigilance. I guess I'm trying to lose that. But still, so yeah, the other park I was in was a little sketchy. Sun was setting. I'm like, okay, I think, Viv, I think you can, I'm going to turn you guys this way, so there's nobody close by. I was like, Viv, I think you could head home. You don't need to be, at your age, you don't need to be out, out in public, strangely and possibly in danger. All right, guys. Also, crossing the street in the UK is hard for me. Seriously, because you have to keep looking the opposite way. It's okay. Okay, thank you. So you have to keep looking the opposite way. Thank you. And I'm always looking the wrong way. Literally, I told this is true, honest to God truth. I was in London, so that was much earlier in the trip, right? I was in London, you guys, and hold on, how did it play out? The road kind of curved off to my right, so I couldn't see sort of all the way around to my right. And I had stepped off the curb, you guys. Whoops. I had stepped off the curb onto the street. And then something just made me step back. Literally, I took 2 steps back onto the sidewalk. And I want to say less than 5 seconds later, a bus, a huge fucking bus, came right around the curb. You know, like this blind curb. And it came around like full speed. And I was like, whoa, okay. And actually, to give London credit, they do have, yeah, see? Almost. Now, this time I was looking the right way. But I mean, literally was 5 seconds away from it, would have hit me. But something just made me step back. But again, in London, they do have on the sidewalk, like, look right. They tell you which way to look, obviously, because it's such a diverse, not diverse. Sorry guys, I can't concentrate because now I'm back in the town. You know, it's such a, yeah, people from all over the world visiting London, it's like they don't know, right? And they don't, probably a lot of tourists have been hit by their double-decker buses. It would be an interesting way to die. Like, oh, he was killed by the cute red double-decker bus. Okay, I'm gonna show you the sidewalk real quick so you see I'm not making it up. Do you see that? That's like this isn't Times Square. Literally, if it were Times Square, I'd be like, oh. But yeah, did you guys see that? Like how much trash there just was? It was crazy. I don't know when somebody comes and cleans. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you go because I'm gonna go to the supermarket and probably buy some junk food. I might buy potato chips with it, which they call crisps. For some reason, since I've been in the UK, I've been obsessed with potato chips. All right. Yeah, this is the sidewalk, little long view. It's just like really dirty, really, really dirty. I don't know what's up. All right, gonna buy some junk food. Love you guys, talk to you later.